Recently, like one of our friend Ashish, like he wanted to know what would be one of the ways in which we can use a Python program online. So this is a video about that, and I will just show you like what we'd be doing. So this is a simple hello world program that we've got, and it essentially has this, like it accepts a name or simple text, and then it shows a greeting, and then we process the text over here by manipulating it, um, and we print the result in the form of a dictionary. So if we run it, the output comes to be something like this. Yes, Ashish, and like a random string ACDC. Okay, so as we can see, like the greeting is hello world, and like this is the result. So the thing is, mm, this is a program that is running locally, like this is just on the system, and like this is a simple hello function. What if we wanted this one function to be accessible by all? As in, what if this was available somewhere online, like on a website, and you could send in your request and this exact program would run? So we'll see that too. So this is a sample input response that we'll be sending to this site now, like where we have our this simple program loaded up. We'll be seeing up how that turns out to be, and so we'll be sending our request with these fields in the form of a JSON payload, and we'll see what we get as output response. So I've already set things up, and as you can see, we are sending a curl request at this specific endpoint that we've got, and it's a post request, and the content type being JSON, and the data is within this file sample.json. As we can see, um, like this is the file, and just to give you a glimpse of it, like this is the function that has been deployed online, or like that is available at this endpoint. And like what is curl is nothing but it's a tool that's inbuilt within any of your Linux systems, where you can like just transfer data from one server to the another. So let's just hit this and see like what we get the output as. Okay, as you can see, the greeting is hello world, welcome Ashish, and the result is random XYZ string, like multiplied 10 times, because that's what we've passed one as. So the difference between this program and this program is that we are sending it on a server that is located somewhere else, and we are getting the output. So we'll see shortly like how we can just achieve that. So in order for us to achieve the exact thing where our Python function resides online and we can access it through that endpoint, so like the first thing that we'd be requiring is we'll be using this framework called cortex.dev, and it's a flawlessly simple framework for deploying your models online for production, but here we'll be using it for a simple test case of running our hello world function. So you should check out their GitHub repo, and then we'll be particularly interested in the docs that's there, and the first thing that we'll be doing is installing it. So I have it installed on my system already, so you can just use pip install cortex, and actually it's already installed in my system, so we won't bother running this, or like it might, like it would show some error, but it's already installed on my system. So you have to run this first, and then once it's installed, like I'd suggest you to clone this repo like just clone the repo. Once we clone into this, I have a simple like if you go to their repo and they have these examples, and then specifically we'll be looking for PyTorch. And what I've already done is, so there is this like one question generator NLP based API example that they've already got. I've modified this repository and like simplified it to a simple barebone version for a hello world program that we got. And if we look into that file, what it essentially has is so it has three files. One is a YAML file and a predictor function that will reside on a server, like wherever we intend to deploy it, but mostly it will be deployed to AWS. And like this is just a sample JSON file for test purposes. So in the predictor function, if you actually go into it, so the predictor file will have a very simple appearance. So you'll have this class called Python predictor, and then this init function that's there. Like there are two functions, init and then predict. So the init function will just be initialized like for one time. So here you can essentially load up your models and everything. And then this predict function is run on each and every request that we receive on the endpoint. Actually, let's just see it in action. So this is the barebone repository structure, and all we have to do is like open up your terminal in that folder. Okay, so all that we have to do is just run this function cortex deploy. And one more important thing is the YAML file that's there. So what this YAML file tells Cortex is the name of the API should be hello world, and then they offer two kinds of APIs, real-time API and a batch API. So we'll be using a real-time API because we want the requests to be addressed in a live manner. And predictor, it's a Python function, and then we should not bother about this as of now. So like this is just the fact that we'll be using one CPU, and like 2 GB of memory would be allocated to this function. So this is the YAML file, and all we have to do is like run cortex deploy. And one more high level overview that I wanted to give you about Cortex is think about Cortex as the example, like the example of a hotel. The essential things that we would want to do while running a hotel is serve our customers, right? So the chefs, the cooks that actually build that actually cook your stuff, like that prepare the food, is your Python function that is going to be abstracted in the kitchen. And then there are your customers or your users who would visit the website or the endpoint, API requests, most probably your get or post functions. And then what role actually, like the reason why we are utilizing Cortex over here is that Cortex plays the role of the hotel manager, and then Cortex API. And what the hotel manager does is, like depending on based on the number of customers that come in, a menu will be showed to them, and then accordingly the number of cooks or chefs that are required to prepare and serve those amount of customers that come in, they are scaled up and down automatically by Cortex. And then here we have some important things. So the first thing is this command that is there, Cortex get hello world, the name of our API. It essentially tells like what the endpoint of our API is at. So locally our endpoint is right now on localhost 8890 at port 8990. So as you can see, it says message make a prediction by sending a post request to this endpoint with a JSON payload. And they also have this example curl request, so you can just copy paste this and it actually shows the configuration that we have used. And when we run it, we are sending a curl request at this API endpoint with the sample JSON having these contents. So once we send this is a Python functions that running. And to actually get a much more finer preview of what's happening in the backend, so you can actually just see. So once you've run deploy, so as you can see, like initializing systems for the first time, so the init function is run only once, so you can't see this being repeated once somewhere else. And then as you can see, received a new request at some certain time, and like whenever you send any request, it will show received a new request, and then you are getting a response. Like the response is like greeting is there and then your name, and then get that as a result. So this is a high level overview of how this works. And another point worth mentioning over here is the fact that the JSON payload that you send as a request to the API endpoint, like the dictionary is always stored in this payload that's automatically like handled by Cortex, and you can consume this dictionary by picking the exact key value pairs that you require. For example, we are sending name and the text as the keys, so we can just directly consume this and like load it into our variables. And once you have this information that is being sent by the user, you can just use it in whatever ways that you want to use it to do your processing, run your process, run your algorithm over here. And then once you do all the processing, all you have to do is return again in a dictionary, and again like Cortex takes care of it, like sends it back in term of a JSON request. And this is just being run locally, right? So one more thing that we can do is in order for this to be alive, like online globally, as in if you want to access this anywhere, this API, like a short hack that we'll be using right now is like we'll be using this tool called local tunnel from like its repo is on GitHub. And what it does is we can expose a local tunnel online and it can be accessed anywhere globally. So what we'll be doing is like after you like install this using these commands as an npm install glocal tunnel, you will be able to use LT, and then the port that we want to be sharing is 8890, as you can see. 8890, we want to expose this port online, so and subdomain we can give any name, like we prefer Python hello. And what it does is this 8890 port is exposed globally online at this endpoint. So you just copy paste this, you run it, you'll get a one-time warning just to make sure that you enter a safe side. And then the same thing is available globally. You can use this anywhere, you can share it with your friends too for testing purposes only. And then the curl request that we were sending, now what we can do is instead of sending it on our local port, we can just send it to that specific endpoint, and when you run it, it still works. So hello world, welcome Ashish, and then you get your result over here. So that is it. And you can keep seeing like how the logs are being generated like whenever a new request is received. And in order to delete that API endpoint, all you've got to do is Cortex delete and your API name, hello world, and then like Cortex will take care of it, and the manager will stop all the waiters from serving the customers, and and will tell the chefs and the cooks to go back to their homes. So that is it, I guess. Like a simple hello world for using your Python program online. Yeah.